Golden Radio Hour.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Mr. Dillon. He's just plain vanished.
And there's no note anywhere, Chester?
No, sir, nothing. I looked again, all over.
Well, it's 2 days now. That isn't like Doc.
I still think he's just gone off on an emergency out in the country somewhere.
Well, maybe, but he's always left word before.
Well, what'll we do, Mr. Dillon?
I don't know. Might start asking people, Chester. Try the saloons and the store and maybe the depot, huh?
All right, sir. I'll go right now. Well, I do declare.
What?
Riding right up Front Street is as big as life.
What? Why, that old devil.
Well, you sure are a sight for sore eyes, Doc. Where in the world have you been, anyway?
Hello, Chester. Matt?
Well, you had us worried, Doc.
Oh, that's so?
Well, you've been gone 2 days.
I know.
Next time, leave word, Doc.
I will. I surely will. If I can.
Well, it sure would save us a lot of
Wait a
doggone
minute.
running
What do you
around.
mean, Doc, if you can?
Just that. If they let me, I'll leave word.
Come on inside, huh? Okay, Doc, I'm curious. You want to tell me about it?
Well, I can tell you part of it, the least important part. I made a promise about the rest. You know how it is, Matt.
No, but you tell me.
Well, the other night, Wednesday it was, I was peacefully asleep on my couch when a couple of riders tromped right into my office. They said a man was hurt bad on a place out past Fort Dodge. So naturally I got up and went along with them.
Well, then why didn't you leave a note and say so?
They told me not to.
They told you what?
Let him talk, Chester.
Of course, I figured then it must be a shooting. But my job is to take care of everybody, sinner and saved alike. And so when we finally got to this place the next day...
What place?
That's part of what I promised not to tell, Chester.
Oh, my.
But like I was saying, there was a young man there who'd got himself shot in the back. The bullet lodged right in his spine. I dug it out and did all I could for him. And then I just sat there for quite a spell. And then I put my things away and I walked out into the other room.
Well, Doc, how is it?
I did what I could.
What do you mean?
He's dead. The shock of extracting that bullet was too much for him. It's a bad place, the spine.
You killed him, huh, Doc?
No. No, I didn't kill him.
He's dead, ain't he?
That boy wouldn't have lived more than a couple of days anyway with that bullet where it was. Whoever put it there murdered him.
Want me to shut him up?
Not yet. Doc, tell me something. You know that boy in there?
I do.
Mm-hmm. The three of us here, you know any of us?
Him? I've seen him around somewheres. Dodge, I guess.
Well, that settles it. He ain't walking out of here.
Shut up. You know his name, Doc?
No, I don't. Might come to me, though. Let me think.
You don't understand, Doc. He wants to kill you already, and now you're trying to remember his name. That's just going to make it worse.
You can't kill a doctor for following his oath.
No? I shot that boy when he tried to get away and shoot you just as easy.
Don't be a fool. I'm a doctor. And since there's nothing more I can do here, I got to be available to other patients. Don't you know I'm the only doctor within 100 miles of Dodge?
Right now, it's one too many.
Now, wait a minute. I'm kind of thinking the Doc's right. You know, he ain't like an ordinary man. A doctor's, well, it's almost like he ain't quite human somehow.
He's human enough to tell what he knows to that hard-head marshal they got in Dodge. The way I figured, it's us or the doc.
I'm not interested in what you figure, mister. Right this minute, there may be some woman having a baby and needing me real bad. There may be several folks needing help.
He's right. We can't kill him.
Well, I can't.
You do what I say and nothing else, you hear?
And, Doc, listen to me. If I let you go, you promise not to tell about anybody you recognized here?
And if I don't?
And doctor or no doctor, I'll kill you myself.
Yes, I suppose you would. All right, I'm here as a doctor. And nothing else. I promise.
Word of honor, Doc.
My word of honor.
Okay, get out.
Well, that's quite a story, Doc.
Oh, you played it right smart if you ask me. Who were they, Doc?
But I only recognize one of them, Chester, besides the man they'd shot.
Have you thought of his name yet?
Chester, don't you understand? I gave my word I wouldn't tell.
Oh, but that was just so you could get away.
Yes, but still I gave my word. It doesn't matter how or why.
But, Doc, they're just a bunch of killers.
I know.
Leave him alone, Chester.
But I don't... Yes, sir?
Matt,
Yeah.
wouldn't you do the same if you were in my boots?
That'd be a hard choice, Doc, but... Yeah, I suppose I would.
I think any man would. Leastwise, any man of honor.
I guess I wasn't really thinking about it that way.
Well, I'm going to get myself some sleep. Matt, that was a good boy they murdered. I hope they hang for it. God bless him.
How are we ever going to find him, Mr. John?
I don't know, Chester. We don't even know who they killed.
And just think, Doc could lead us straight to him right now.
It isn't making the Doc happy, Chester.
No, sir, it sure isn't.
Sincerely, Matt Dillon. U.S.
Marshal?
Jake Worth. Why, you haven't come to Dodge in 6 months that I know of.
I'm here now, Marshal.
Oh? Trouble, Jake?
I'd call it that.
Well,
You know that cottonwood? Big one down at Brandy Bend?
yeah.
There's a hole down by the roots at the north side of it, Marshal. I put a sack in that hole this morning. It's got $20,000 in it.
20. Well, that's a lot of money, Jake, even for you.
It isn't if Hank gets back all right.
Hank? Well, that's your youngest boy, isn't it?
18 last month. He didn't show up the other night, Marshal, and next morning I found a note tacked on the corral. Said to leave the money or they'd kill him.
Well, come on, Jake. We'll try to get there before they pick up the money.
No, Marshal, I won't take any chances. They'd shoot him sure if we did that.
You should have told me before you left the money. You should have come here first.
You didn't hear what I said, Marshal. I won't take the chance. All I want now is for you to watch for anybody who turns up rich around here.
Jake, listen to me.
You listen to me, Marshal. Nobody's going to do a thing till Hank's back safe on the ranch. Not one dang thing.
Jake, if they killed Hank, you'd want him hung, wouldn't you?
I'll hang him myself if it comes to that.
All right, then let's go. Let's get down to Brandy Bend and wait for him.
No, I already told you no.
Jake! I think Hank's dead.
You what?
I think they've already shot him, and he's dead.
What are you talking about? Where is he?
I don't know.
And how come you think he's dead?
Well, I can't tell you.
Marshal, I've had about enough of this.
Look, we're wasting time here. Come on, Jake. I'll tell you what I can on the way to the river.
You better, by heaven, or one of us ain't never going to get to the river.
Jake Worth was known as a hard, hot-tempered man, but he was straight as they come. He'd made one fortune in Texas cattle and another in buffalo hides, and now all he wanted was his ranch and his 3 sons to work it with him. The Worths were good men. They didn't cause any trouble, and they worked hard. It wasn't easy to tell Jake, but without mentioning Doc, I said what I could. And when we reached the Arkansas, we hid our horses in a clump of bushes and worked our way on foot up to the big cottonwood. And then we saw it.
That's him. That's Hank.
Yeah, I'm afraid so, Jake.
Yeah. They killed him. They killed him all right. He was a good boy. Had his whole life to live yet. Why'd they do it? I gave them the money. Why'd they do it?
I'm sorry, Jake.
Marshal, I want the truth now, every bit of it.
Well, that's all I know, Jake. Hank tried to break, and one of them shot him. But we'll get him.
I'll take care of myself as soon as you tell me who they are.
I don't know who they are.
Don't lie to me, Marshal. You know a lot you're not telling me.
I've told you all I can.
That's
Jake.
my boy lying there, Marshal. He's been murdered, and if I didn't know you so well, I'd begin to think maybe you had something to do with it yourself.
Easy now, Jake.
Then why don't you tell me?
Because the man who told me about it had to promise not to name anybody. That's why.
What man? Who is he? I'll get it out of him if I have to cut it out.
I know. That's why I can't tell you who he is.
What kind of a lawman are you, anyway?
I've told you all I can, Jake.
No. No, you haven't. Marshal, I don't believe your story about nobody promising nothing. You know who done it. You're going to tell me. I'm giving you 24 hours to name those men. And me and my boys are coming to Dodge. There'll be blood spilt, Marshal.
Jake, I give you my word, I don't know who did it.
I don't believe you.
I'll help you take your boy home now.
Go on back to Dodge. I'll manage here.
You're making a bad mistake, Jake.
24 hours, Marshal.
I'll be there.
We'll find you, wherever you'll be.
Jake, So long, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of tonight's show, our star, William Conrad, steps out of the character of Matt Dillon to bring you an announcement which we are certain will be of great interest to all our listeners. So be sure to listen at the close of tonight's program for a special message from William Conrad. And now the second act of Gunsmoke.
There was no use arguing with him. The man's grief had destroyed his reason. And the worst of it was, I knew his sons would do whatever Jake told them to do. Unless I could stop it somehow, I'd have to shoot it out with 3 good and perfectly innocent men. And for no reason at all. I thought about it all the way back to Dodge. And by the time I got there, I had an idea. I went up to Doc's and I talked it over with him.
All right, Matt. I'll do whatever I can.
Well, it might not work, Doc. And you'll be exposing yourself to a lot of danger. Have you thought about that?
I have. And I've also been thinking about the men who killed Hank Worth.
Well, we could wait till they start spending their money, or till one of them gets drunk and maybe talks too much somewhere.
Yes, we could, but meantime, you and the Worths will have a gunfight. Oh, and that'd be a terrible thing to let happen.
All right, then, Doc, let's go. I want to get to the ranch before dark.
You know, Matt, I haven't been out here since Mrs. Worth died. It must be 4 or 5 years now. Place sure has changed.
Yeah. I don't see anybody around, do you?
Well, maybe they saw us first. Maybe they hid out.
Yeah, maybe.
That's far enough, Marshal. Watch it, boys. If he makes a move, shoot.
Jake, I came here to stop a shooting, not to start one.
You can stop it, Marshal. Just tell me who killed my son.
If I knew, I'd be on his trail, Jake.
What's Doc doing here, anyway?
Tell him, Doc.
I took the bullet out of Hank just before he died.
What?
That's right, Jake. Now come down here where we can talk like friends, and I'll explain it.
Stay where you are, boys. All right, Doc, let's hear it.
Well, they got me out of bed, Jake, and they led me out into the country. Hank had been shot in the back, and I extracted the bullet. But it was no use. He'd have died anyway. There were 3 men there, and I recognized one of them.
Who was he?
I had to promise I wouldn't tell, Jake, or they'd have killed me.
That don't matter now.
Think about it, Jake. Doc gave him his word, and you're asking him to break it. Now think about it for a minute.
I'm thinking, and I'm thinking about my boy, too.
Hank's dead, Jake. We can't help him.
Shot in the back, and the coward who did it's running free.
You want to help get him, Jake?
Don't ask fool questions, Marshals. Of course I want to get him.
All right, then listen to me. Those men told Doc if he talked, they'd kill him.
Yes, and they meant it, too.
All right, so I got an idea, Jake. We'll spread it around that Doc has identified the killer. The news will reach him soon enough. And meantime, I'll lay low and have Chester tell everybody I've ridden out after them.
Go on.
Then we'll just wait. 1 or 2 or maybe all 3 of them will come into Dodge to kill Doc some night soon.
I still might get away.
I'll deputize you and your boys right now, and you can wait for them with us. But you're going to have to stay hidden, like me.
Well, we won't mind that. Not if we get a chance at them, we won't.
Good.
Funny thing, though.
What?
Man like Doc here, rather than break his word, he'll make himself a target for those killers.
Yeah. Look, Jake, Doc and I are going to go back to Dodge now. I'll see that the story gets started. And in a day or 2, you and your boys can ride in, but separately, though. Otherwise, it might cause talk.
I understand.
And come straight to Doc's.
We'll get there.
For the next few days, Doc never left his office. I figured that'd make him look scared and draw the killers right into his place. The rest of us sat around in his back room and waited. Chester kept us supplied with food and coffee. And on the 6th night, about midnight, we got our game.
Mr. Dillon, I think it's them.
What?
They just rode up Front Street, 3 of them. They're tying up outside right now. They acted too deliberate like for ordinary riders, so I run up the back way to tell you.
Good. Doc, come on in here, huh?
What do you want me to do, Mac?
Take cover in here and stay out of sight, huh?
Whatever you say, Mac.
Let's go downstairs and meet them, Marshal.
No, we might just scatter them that way, Jake. Now listen. One of them will probably stand guard on the street while the other 2 come up here to get Doc. Chester, you and the 2 boys go down the back way. Jake and I'll wait in Doc's office. Now, don't jump that man until we go into action up here. You understand?
Yes, sir, I got it.
All right, then move and move fast. All right, come on, Jake.
Now what?
Well, we'll just wait here in the dark.
Good.
I'm going to bunch up Doc's blanket on the couch here so that they'll think he's in it. What?
They're on the stairs now.
All right, get back in the corner, Jake, or we'll be shooting each other.
Yeah.
Now, quiet. And don't start shooting till I do.
Doc, wake up, you lying dog.
Let's just shoot him and get out of here.
Wait, he ain't here.
What?
Get your hands up. You're under arrest.
Both of you!
You all right, Jake?
Yeah, I got one of them. I'm all right.
Doc? Doc, come on out. They're dead. Light the lamp, will you, Doc?
All right.
You okay, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, come on in, Chester.
Oh, we got him. He tried to get away when he heard the shooting up here, but he run smack into one of the Worth boys. He's dead.
Bring the lamp over here, Doc. No, I don't know either one of these men. Now, Doc, you can tell us now. Is one of these the man you recognized?
This one here. I remembered later I treated him for a broken nose some time back. I never did know his name. He came up the trail with a herd, I think.
Yeah. Doc, will you take care of things?
Sure, man.
Well, Jake?
Marshal, me and the boys will be getting back to the ranch now.
Sure.
Marshal,
What, Jake?
I doubted you. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, forget it.
No, it's best I remembered. A man shouldn't make mistakes like that.
Well, there was no harm done. The way it worked out.
I'll buy you a drink before we leave, Marshal.
I think I'd like that, Jake. Come on, let's go.
Now, a special announcement. Here is our star, William Conrad.
Thank you, George. You know, I believe this is the first time I've ever set aside the character of Matt Dillon to speak to you. But this is important to all of us here on the show, and I hope it will seem so to you. Starting next week, Gunsmoke will come to you at a new time, on a new day, sponsored by Chesterfield Cigarettes. Chester, Doc, Kitty, and I, together with all of our strong-minded, brawling, hard-living citizens of Dodge, who will come to you next Monday, July the 5th. So from now on, that's when you'll hear Gunsmoke, on Mondays. And we like to think that all of our listeners will find time this coming Monday night, July the 5th, to tune in to their local CBS radio station for Gunsmoke. Until then, good night.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Lawrence Dobkin, and Harry Bartell. Parley Bear is Chester, and Howard McNear is Doc. Join us again Monday, July 5th, as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. George Walsh speaking. For the top tunes of rural America, hear Saturday Night Country Style every week on the CBS Radio Network.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by Chesterfield, America's most popular two-way cigarette. What a pair. Chesterfield king size at the new low price. Chesterfield Regular.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful. And a little lonely. It was a long ride from Dodge up to Ponca Creek in the Dakota Territory, and I killed a good horse getting there. But I caught Lee Trumbo. He was asleep in a clump of willow, and I took him without a fight. We rode his horse double into Sioux Falls, but we came the rest of the way back to Dodge in style, by stagecoach. At least I thought we were traveling in style. Lee didn't seem to care much for it. In fact, he wouldn't even talk until the stage pulled into Dodge and drove up Front Street toward the plaza.
You're making a bad mistake, Marshal.
Is that so?
I didn't kill anybody.
There are two witnesses say you did, Lee.
They're lying.
Then why did you run?
My brother Dolph, he said you was after me. That's why I run.
You'll get a trial. You can talk about it then.
I ain't gonna stand trial, Marshal. Dolph will get me out of jail before that.
Is that so? I never figured Dolph is a man to do much of anything.
You've been against us Trumbos ever since we come to Dodge, ain't you, Marshal?
Yeah, I have. Neither one of you is any good.
See what I mean?
Yeah, there's your brother Dolph now, waiting to welcome you back.
Well, how'd he know I was coming?
I wired Chester from Sioux Falls a week ago.
That bandy-legged deputy of yours? Here's the mail.
Chester's not my deputy.
Well, he sure acts like it.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? No? Here we are.
You got my brother in there, Marshal?
Come on out, Lee.
You're going to be sorry for this.
Yeah, that's what Lee's been telling me. Come on, Lee. Get on out of there.
I'm coming, Marshal. I'm coming. Shoot him, Dolph. What?
Don't look at me, Marshal. I didn't even draw.
No. No, you didn't, did you, Dolph?
You didn't have to kick him like that. You hurt him.
He'll get his wind back.
I got him covered, Mr. Dillon.
Hello, Chester.
Don't you try nothing like that again, Lee.
It's all right, Chester. The fight's out of him.
You want me to take Dolph's gun?
Now, that's funny. I keep forgetting. You do wear a gun, don't you, Dolph?
There's nothing wrong with wearing a gun, Marshal.
There is the way you wear one.
What do you mean?
Well, you might run into somebody who doesn't know you're afraid to use it, and he might shoot you before he found that out.
You calling me a coward, Marshal?
Now, Chester,
Yes, sir.
I'm going over to the office. When Lee here stops groaning, herd him over and lock him up, will you?
Okay, sir.
And if Dolph gives you any trouble, shoot him.
Now, Marshal.
Get going, Dolph. Go on, move.
You'll be sorry for this. I'll make you sorry for it.
Oh, say, there's a fellow waiting for you over at the office, Mr. Dillon. He's a stranger to me, but he wanted to see you.
All right, Chester.
Oh, by the way, welcome back.
Thanks.
It's been most a month you've been gone. We sure did miss you here.
Now, there were times when I missed being here, Chester. Don't let Lee get away from you now, huh? I'd hate to make that ride all over again.
No, sir, I won't. Oh, I sure won't. Oh, stop breathing like that, Lee, and get on your feet. You ain't hurt. Come on. Get up here. Let me alone.
Well,
Hello, Matt.
Hack Prine, how are you?
Good to see you, Matt. You're surprised to see me alive, huh, Matt?
Why, Hack, it's been at least 10 years, hasn't it?
Man ain't born that could kill me. Leastways, I ain't run into him yet.
Well, maybe you're just lucky.
Luckier than you, anyways. A lot luckier sometimes, the way I recall it.
Now, you're thinking about Santa Fe.
Yeah. You wasn't very lucky that day, Matt. Hey, remember how it was? You backed into a corner with nothing but a beer bottle in your hand, and 3 of John Chisholm's drunk cowboys about to empty their guns into you.
Yeah. And you walked in and killed every one of them.
Yeah. It was real surprised, wasn't it, Matt?
John Chisholm's been after you ever since, hasn't he, Hack?
Oh, them was just the first of Chisholm's men I've killed, Matt. Been riding with Billy the Kid till about half a year ago.
Oh? Well, why'd you quit?
Never could make out if Billy was working for or against Chisholm. Besides, it didn't pay enough. Oh, but you're the one, Matt. When I got to Dodge last night, heard you was U.S. Marshal here, I just didn't believe it.
Well, being a marshal isn't that hard a job.
Oh, you can handle it all right, I know that. What I mean is, it's kind of sudden. Find a man you used to know being a U.S. Marshal.
Well, I got to earn my keep somehow.
Oh, sure.
Well, what are you doing at Dodge, anyway?
I don't know, Matt. I don't know yet. I've been over to Wagon Bed Springs, stretching my legs, sleeping in a bed, doing a little gambling and the like.
Yeah.
Some fella here sent for me. I ain't seen him yet, but if it's a job he's got, I sure need the money.
Well, good luck with it, Hack. We'll get together later and have a drink.
Well,
Straight ahead, Lee. Right through that door there. The settles is out
What's
back.
this?
Just a prisoner.
What'd he do?
I didn't do nothing. Shut up and keep walking, Lee.
What you locking him up for, man?
Murder?
That's bad. That's real bad.
Murder's always bad.
I don't mean that. I mean locking a man up. I couldn't stand that, Matt. I never been in jail. I never ain't gonna be.
Well, then you better stay sober around here, Hack.
And you're taking it back about that drink.
Oh, no. You'll be safe as long as you're with me.
Oh. I don't know, Matt. I've been around you when it wasn't so safe. I'll see you later.
Yeah, sure, Hack.
Oh. Hey, well, come on in, mister. I'm leaving. So long, Matt.
So long, Hack.
Marshal Dillon?
Hello, Ole. How are you?
Marshal, I got something I got to tell you. It's my duty, the way I see it.
Oh, what's the trouble?
Hello, Ole. What you doing here?
Well, I come to tell the marshal something, Chester, but I sure don't like informing on people. You understand me, Marshal?
Well, what's it about, Ole?
Dolph Trumbo, that's what. You got his brother Lee in jail here.
We sure have. I just locked him up myself.
Well, Dolph's coming to get him out. He's over at the Alafraganza right now talking it up.
Talking what up?
Well, there's some men at the bar there, Marshal. And Dolph's buying them drinks and telling them his brother's plumb innocent, and they got to raid the jail here and get him out.
You mean he's forming a mob?
That's what he's doing, and I don't like it. There's going to be trouble, sure.
Ole, thanks very much for telling me this, but don't worry about the trouble. I'll put a stop to that right now. Come on, Chester.
Yes, sir.
What a pair. What a buy. King-size Chesterfield, now at the new low price. And Chesterfield Regular. They're the quality twins. The same highest quality. The same low nicotine. Either way you like them, you get the same wonderful taste and mildness. A refreshing smoke every time. Change to Chesterfield, America's most popular two-way cigarette. Yes, the Chesterfield you smoke today is the best cigarette ever made. What a pair. Chesterfield Regular, Chesterfield King Size. They satisfy millions. They're best for you.
Wouldn't you know Dolph Trumbo do something stupid like this, Mr. Dillon? Trying to form a mob to take his brother out of the jailhouse.
Well, it works sometimes, Chester.
Not in Dodge, it don't.
Oh, not so far, anyway. Here's the Oliver. Now, don't get in the way. Huh?
No, sir. You're right, Bob.
And something else. There's nothing to be afraid of, you men. You'll be led by one of the best gunmen in the whole country. I promise you that. And we'll have justice in Dodge. Once and for all. Justice. That.
What do you want, Marshal? What are you doing here? Ole told you, huh? I seen him sneak out.
I just been talking, Marshal. No harm in talking, is there?
Well, Lee's innocent anyway. He shouldn't be in jail.
And I'm going to get him out, too. These men here are all with me. And we're going to...
Quiet.
Shut up!
Bartender, this place is closed for the rest of the day. No more liquor. And you men get out of here and don't let me find any of you together again. Not for a long time. Now get moving. Oh, here, Chester. I'll pay for the beer.
You leaving, Mr. Dillon?
Oh, Kitty just came downstairs. I haven't seen her yet. I think I'll go over and say hello.
Yes, sir. Like for me to go across the street and see if they're keeping the Alfraganza closed?
No, it's all right. I told them they could open up again tonight.
Oh, well, thanks for the beer, Mr. Dillon.
Sure, Chester, sure.
Welcome to Dodge, stranger.
How are you, Kitty?
Fine. I'd be even better if you'd brought 2 beers over instead of 1.
Uh-huh.
But you can sit down anyway.
Well, you can take this one, Kitty. It's kind of warm. I don't want it.
Matt, do you suppose the day will ever come when having good manners will be a requirement for the marshal's office?
Well, if it ever does, Kitty, I don't guess they'll need marshals anymore.
Yeah, maybe you're right at that.
Well, how have you been, huh? Everything okay?
Well, I was making out pretty good, Matt, till I broke my toe.
Broke your toe?
Yep.
How'd you do that?
In the line of duty, right here in this saloon. I got tromped on dancing with a Texas cowboy who should have been spending his trail money on red silk handkerchiefs and soda water instead of me. He couldn't have been over 16. Darn fool kid.
There's not much you can do for a broken toe, is there?
No. At least it doesn't hurt when I'm sitting down. I hear you broke up Dolph Trumbo's party at the Alfraganza this afternoon.
Oh?
Huh?
You hear just about everything, don't you, Kitty?
Men. They talk more than women. This place is full of men, day and night. You think if I closed my eyes and prayed real hard, they'd all go away?
Well, if they did, what would you do for a living?
That'll keep me awake. Say, there's your friend Dolph now. Just came in.
Huh?
There's a stranger with him, Matt.
Well, I'll be.
What's the matter? Who is he?
He's a gunman, Kitty.
That's so?
Yeah. I guess he's about the handiest man with a gun that ever hit Dodge.
So Dolph's gone and hired him a gunman. Who is he, anyway? What's his name?
He's a friend of mine, Kitty.
A friend of yours?
Yeah, a good friend. He saved my life once. But now I guess he's going to try to get it back. His name's Prine. Hack Prine. The government never did pay me much for enforcing the law in Dodge, but even if they doubled it, there were times when I'd like to have quit. I sat there with Kitty and watched the 2 men at the bar. They had a drink, then they shook hands, and then Hack walked out. I got up, and I followed him. Yeah, Hack.
What for?
Where you staying?
Dodge House.
Huh?
Got a room.
I'd like to talk to you.
Street'll do.
Okay. Dolph was trying to form a mob this afternoon, Hack. He wanted to raid his brother out of jail.
I heard about it.
When I went to break it up, I heard him saying they'd be led by one of the best gunmen in the country. Now, that wouldn't be Dolph himself.
No. He's afraid of guns.
He meant you. Didn't he, Hack?
I hadn't talked to him yet. He was just guessing I'd come in.
And you have?
Not with no mob. I told him that. I don't work with mobs. You should have known better than to say that.
Well, how do you work, Hack?
Alone, by myself. I'm a pretty good gunman, Matt.
Yeah, I know. It saved my life once, sure, being a good gunman.
Yeah. Matt, turn his brother loose. I get paid if you do.
Look, Hack, Lee Trumbo murdered a man. He's going to stand trial for it.
I don't get paid if he stands trial.
But you get paid for shooting me?
That's what Dolph said. That was his deal.
Well?
Oh, they tell me you're better with a gun you used to be, Matt.
Hack, I don't want to fight you.
Afraid, Matt? How'd you get to be marshal, anyways?
It's a job. I took it.
Well, I've been offered a job, too, and I took it.
Yeah, but you had better jobs, Hack.
Well, it's been bothering me some, Matt. I took an awful chance saving your life once. Now I got to take another to kill you. That don't make much sense, does it?
Look, Hack, why don't you forget it, huh? Go on back to Wagon Bed Springs. I'll lend you some money to see you through.
No, it ain't that easy, Matt. I back out on this, the word will get around. Nobody'll hire me for nothing no more. My reputation won't be worth crowbait.
Did Billy the Kid pay you to kill men?
Of course not. Of course not. That was for pleasure. You know how I hate John Chisholm.
And you come down a long way, Hack. Selling your gun.
I killed a man for pay over to La Junta. Didn't bother me none.
Who was he?
I don't know. Some gambler. Pretty good gunman, though.
Tell me something, Hack. Did Dolph say how his brother murdered that man here?
Dolph claims he didn't do it at all.
Well, there were 2 witnesses who saw him do it. The man was a buffalo skinner, unarmed. He didn't even have a knife on him. But he refused to buy Lee Trumbo a drink, so Lee shot him.
Unarmed?
That's right.
Shot an unarmed man?
You think it over, Hack. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. A man like Hack Prine had his own peculiar sense of honor. The idea of shooting me seemed to bother him less than the fact that Lee Trumbo had killed an unarmed man. Later that night, I heard he'd been seen having an argument with Dolph. So I figured I'd won. But another killing in Dodge, either me or Hack, had been avoided. Until early next morning, word came that a man had been shot at the Dodge house. I sent Chester on over while I went up and got Doc Adams.
How do you know the man isn't already dead, Matt?
I don't know, Doc.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'd probably make more money off of him dead than alive.
Oh?
Well, I get paid for autopsies, don't I?
Sure.
Yeah, but just try to collect for the ones I keep alive. Just you try it.
And I'm glad I don't have to, Doc, but I still notice you buy a new buggy every spring.
Oh, yes, and wear it out before. Racing across the prairie, delivering babies, setting bones, digging out bullets, delivering babies.
Well, exercise keeps a man young, Doc.
Yeah, it's a good thing I don't depend on sympathy to keep me young.
Now, here we are.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon, oh, hello, Doc.
Where is he, Chester?
In that room right there, number 12. And you know who it is? It's Ole.
Ole?
Yes, sir. And Hack Prine shot him.
What?
It's Hack's room, Mr. Dillon. He did it all right.
Well, let's take a look. Where's Hack now, Chester?
I don't know, sir. Nobody's seen him for the past hour. I kept everybody out of the room, Mr. Dillon. All right, now stand aside here, boys. Let the marshal and Doc through. Come on now, fellas, let them through.
Let me through. Let me through here.
It's Ole, all right. He's dead, Matt. Real dead. 3-4 hours, probably.
Nobody heard a shot or nothing, Mr. Dillon. But when the clerk come on duty about an hour ago, he saw Hack Prine walk out of here.
Why anybody would want to kill poor little Ole, I do not understand.
I'll bet I know, Mr. Dillon.
What, Chester?
You didn't talk Hack out of trying to kill you after all. He went back to Dolph last night and told him he'd take the job. Then he figured the only way to get you into a fight was to shoot somebody so you'd have to come after him.
Yeah, maybe. Now, come on, let's start looking for him.
We will return for the last act of Gunsmoke in just a moment.
What a pair. Les Paul and Mary Ford, America's most popular recording duo. You ought to know. You buy millions of their records. Les and Mary say, Chesterfield's for me.
I guess you could call us a real Chesterfield family. I've been enjoying them now for over 6 years.
It's over 15 years for me. We believe it's the best cigarette ever made.
Yes, they have just that refreshing taste and mildness that we like.
What a pair. Chesterfield King Size, now at the new low price, and Chesterfield Regular, America's most popular two-way cigarette.
I guess the Oliver Ganza is the only place we haven't looked in, Mr. Dillon. He's got to be there, unless maybe he's going to try to bushwhack you.
Hack may be a paid killer, Chester, but he'll always face his man head on.
Yes, sir. That come right from the Oliver Ganza.
Yeah.
Mr. Dillon, there's Hack. He's coming out.
Yeah. All right, get off the street, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Matt.
Hello, Hack.
Just killed a man in that saloon there.
Dolph Trumbo?
I killed him. I give him a chance, but he wouldn't draw. I killed him anyways.
That's too bad, Hack.
Ain't no man gonna frame me.
I never thought you killed Ole, but I wanted to hear you say so.
How'd you know I didn't do it?
Well, it wouldn't be your style to kill a defenseless little fellow like that, would it?
Of course not.
So while you were out gambling last night, Dolph killed him and dumped him in your room.
I found him there, and then I went after Dolph. Ain't no man can do that to me.
Hack, according to the law, you murdered Dolph. I'm going to have to arrest you.
What?
You're going to have to stand trial for it.
Oh, no, Matt. No, sir, I ain't going to jail. Not me, Matt. Never.
I'm a lawman, Hack. I got to arrest you.
Matt, I told Dolph last night I wasn't going to take his job. I told him I was going to leave town.
You're under arrest, Hack.
All right. I guess you've got to do it. Let's go for it, Matt.
No, Hack, no.
Let's see what happens.
Hack. Hack.
Oh, you're sure good, Matt. You're awful good.
Yeah.
Better this way, Matt, than getting paid to fight you.
Sure. Sure it is.
There weren't no reason to fight you. Not that way. I can't see you no more, Matt. It's like being underwater. I can't see nothing.
Mr. Dillon, that was awful good shooting. I never seen nothing as fast as that in my whole life. My, I'll bet he didn't know what hit him. The way he spun around there when you... Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon, what's the matter? Mr. Dillon? My.
Here is our star, William Conrad.
Right now, I'd like to step out of my character as Marshal Matt Dillon to join George Fenneman as a Chesterfield salesman. You know, about the greatest compliment I've ever heard about any product is what smokers say about Chesterfield. They satisfy. So whether you smoke a regular or king-size cigarette, Chesterfield is best. We hope you'll try them, and soon.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, Vic Perrin, John Daner, and Harry Bartell. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
Today, L&M filters have a nationwide demand never before equaled by any other cigarette in so short a time. The reason? This is it. It's the filter that counts, and L&M has the best. L&M's exclusive Miracle Tip contains alpha cellulose to give you effective filtration. Two other things are important. L&M's have much more flavor, much less nicotine. Buy America's highest quality and best filter tip cigarette. Light and mild L&M.
Be sure to listen to Dragnet, the story of your police force in action, tomorrow night, Tuesday, on another network. Next week at this same time, Chesterfield will bring you another story of the Old West on Gunsmoke. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.